Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and this is all finished now, our sewing journal and pocket and all that. So most of you have already seen this, but just in case if there's new people, I altered a file folder, and it's the regular size manila file folder that I stamped and coffee stained and stitched down the sides so it makes a pocket. And then there's a little paper clip right here, and then fabric that's all stitched here, and there's some lace and some part of the instructions of the sewing pattern. This is a doily. There's lace and rickrack and denim and fabric, and this is a crocheted doily and a paper doily that's been like Kool-Aid stained, more of that lace. And then the pattern itself, the package, is made into a pocket, and it's been lined with book page so that it won't tear easily. And then this is sewing pattern instructions, one of the pictures on the inside. This is Stampin' Up! Scrapbook paper. There's some washi fabric, rickrack fabric's over there. And then this is book page on the back, and a piece of, I think this was Gail Augustinelli's, one of her digi-kits. And you can see this stitch here, that's that stuff that I stitched on. But it's a large journaling card, and then it just goes right in here. Oopsie, I just got that edge. I'll fix that. And then inside, I did do a little like washi fabric trim up there and some rickrack. And then excuse me, this is the journal, and it's just one signature. This is another one of the pockets that hold the instructions for the pattern and the pattern itself. And then I just did a little, I don't know, collage type thing out of lace and denim and polka dot fabric and just an old button. And then when you open it, there's a pocket, and this is all fabric that has been glued onto book page and then just stitched all over, kind of like crazy quilt style. And I made this card, so if you have been watching, you didn't see this because I did this not on video. There's just a piece of lace stitched up here. It's all collaged all over. This is thread from, tearing apart these fabrics and fraying them. That's all thread that has come out of those. Washi, I saw Gail Augustinelli do that, and she got the idea somewhere, and I can't remember where. But there's pattern paper. This is out of an old magazine, and it's a library card, just some washi and rickrack up there to decorate it. And then this is the rest of the, I don't know what you, snippet, garland kind of thing that I made to go with this. And so the rest of it's just going to go in this little pocket, and whoever gets this journal can use it, for whatever they want to use it for. And so this is pattern instructions that came out of the same pattern as this, and I just added a kind of like a paper frame sort of thing, and I just stamped around it. I have a stamp from Stampin' Up! That looks like stitching. This is just fabric washi, coffee dyed paper, more coffee dyed lined green paper. This is out of a 1949 Family Circle magazine, and I like I told you guys last time, I did do some patches on it because it's so old, it tears easily. And I went down the spine of the paper too, so that it hopefully won't rip, And then there's coffee stain paper frame again, and then I just covered this back part with some sewing instruction tissue, just so you could probably still write on here, even though you can see the writing underneath. I think if you used like a black pen, it would definitely show up. Some lined paper that's been coffee stained, some Kool-Aid dyed paper. I think I did this with irises. I don't think this was Kool-Aid dyed. It was irises and a little bit of food color, because it's a lighter, different kind of purple, and there's almost green in there too. And this is like a pattern to make a purse. It came out of a magazine. This is just some lined paper. This is an old vintage bag, and so I made a card to go inside, a journaling card. That's an old, that's from a magazine, the Family Circle magazine again. And this is pattern instructions, fabric, scrapbook paper, and it's just on a 3x5 card, washi up there. so that goes in there. And then I just did a little lace and another one of the ladies out of the magazine. And this is lace. And lined paper, pattern instruction, coffee dyed paper. This is out of a work basket, I think they were called. They had like embroidery things and cooking ideas and all kinds of stuff. Kitty lined paper. This is out of the 1949 Family Circle. Patterns for spring. And then on the back of that same magazine page, I just added a little frame to write on washi. I did reinforce this part as well. I added a pocket. This is one of those library cards that has the hole in the center that go in the card catalog. This is another collage. There's some more of the threads that came out of the fabrics. And that's out of a magazine. That's instructions for the sewing pattern. And you can see on the back I did different stitches. You can just see the stitches a little bit easier. And then this is the middle of the one single signature, and I turned it into a pocket. So see, it's got the thumb hole. And inside of there is another large journaling card that's been all collaged all over. This is that same trim that I showed you that's wrapped around the card at the front. And some book page so you can write there easily. There's lots of journaling space in this, even though it's, you know, not tons of pages. It's 15 pages, whole pages, so that makes 30 and 60 sides to write on, essentially. I mean, some of these you can't really write right here, but there's a little spot right there that I just did out of tissue, pattern tissue. In the back of the magazine page, and a kitty paper. There's that. And this is, I fussy cut her out of a different pattern. Actually, that might be what this pattern was from. I don't know if that's the same thing, but I fussy cut her out of another pattern pocket. Here's another decorated paper clip, and this one's from Denise at One of Our Crafts. And then this is the other end of that bag, so I just cut the bottom of the bag open so that it has another journaling card, and this one I just did another collage and a little bit of fabric. It's all stitched all the way around. And then there's lace on the front of this, and this is cut out of the same pattern front as this lady. It's just a smaller, you know, to show you different ways that you can do the pattern. And these are vintage bags. You can probably tell by the colors. On the other side of that, I just added another little frame to write on. I didn't do the stitching stamp around all of them. This is out of Family Circle, just like washing Purex ad. Coffee dyed, and the other end of that, and there's another little spot to write. There's another fabric pocket in the back. And I did a large, long journaling card. This is out of a magazine, same one as the ladies from before. This I had in my stash, and I can't remember where I got it. But anyway, and that's one of Rachel at Roxy Creations doilies. This is pattern paper, some rosettes, and then the back looks like this. So there's a little bit of stuff here, but you can easily write on all that. And then that's the back pocket, and then your instructions, because it is a whole pattern pocket that went around there. So that is the finished product. It will go up on my Etsy today at some point. And then yesterday I was playing around. I got some stamps, and I know some of you have probably seen them if you watch Rachel, because she just played with them the other day. I got them while we were on vacation, and so I wanted to play with them because I haven't had a chance until now. So I was having some fun. I've got some book page and some tags. I wanted to make some tags to go, you know, when somebody buys something from my Etsy, I like to send some stuff along with it. So, but the stamps are from Ayozie Designs, and she's also on YouTube here. And these are her stamps. They're beautiful. They're just beautiful. There's a rabbit, bird on a branch, like some poppy seed pod or poppy pods, flowers, owl, and a bee. And so I was playing around with them yesterday. And let's see, the first one that I did, I just watercolored some watercolor paper and just stamped the image on there once it was dry and the thank you. So that's kind of just a simple tag to do. So if you are having trouble figuring out how to do tags for your journals too, some of these ideas might be beneficial. So this is just watercolor paper, so it's nice and thick. You don't even have to do anything else to it. And then I just watercolored. Like I'm not a good watercolorist, like I don't do it all the time. So I just went, you know, right down kind of like that and changed colors, and it worked great. And then I did another one where I watercolored the same way on some book page, and I stamped the bunny, and then, you know, this is washi on a library card, just some scrapbook paper. I just stamped thank you on, part of a guest check, and some more washi. So that's as simple as that is. And then I have a little owl that I did, you know, different colors on book page again. I thought that was kind of fun. Something different than just the book page color itself. And I have this guest check. I just cut this, I coffee stained some guest checks and then, you know, cut it with my die cut machine. So I thought maybe we could play with this. And this is one of the things I got from my friend Michelle that comes off the card catalog cards. You know, this is how they put them through the old style printers. So I thought, you know, something like that. I might get some scrapbook paper here and see this color. I don't know. This doesn't rip very great. It's like this is a layer that's just on top of white paper. It's kind of weird. I've not seen that before. So anyway, I thought it was strange, but so I hope everybody's having a good day. I just thought it would be fun to play with these and make a few more thank you tags and do it while I'm making a video anyways. That journal was a lot of fun to make. So if you guys have any old patterns, I find them sometimes at thrift stores or like antique shops and stuff like that. So you just got to kind of keep your eyes peeled for them. I'm grabbing some old paper. So we might even just use a piece of this pattern, or that's part of one of those pattern pockets. I've got these little bits too, and I like these kind of things. Alright, so I think I'm just going to ink this and glue this stuff down. So this isn't anything difficult. I mean, I'm not doing anything that you couldn't just do at any time on your own. But I just thought I like to do a little something every time I show a journal or whatever, just so you don't feel like that's the only reason I'm doing it. Get the creative juices going. So yeah, I'm very excited because I've gotten lots of new subscribers, and I know I keep saying that, but it's exciting to me because I've heard that they're, you know, trying some of the things that we've been making and things like that. So I just think it's really fun that that's going on. I need a glue stick. So yeah, those journals out of like the manila file folders or composition notebooks and things like that are a little less daunting, and I think, at least I feel like, if I were to mess up, it's not as big of a deal as like tearing apart an old book that, you know, you probably are never going to find again. So I get how some of that can be, you know, scary to just do, but doing some this way, for one, you don't have to put tons of signatures in them. You can just do one or whatever, and then, you know, to try it out. So I think it's a great way to to start. And sometimes I just find it relaxing to do those kind of journals. I get to use more of the creativity and less of the, like, trying to find enough paper to go into it and all that, which sometimes I like. Oh, I want these to go on the outside so they don't get covered. It's so funny because we used to have gobs of this paper and just threw it away with the holes in it because you just thought, well, we don't need that anymore. Who's going to use that? I wish I had it now because it's, you know, it looks cool on this kind of stuff. And I will do some of the painting of these too, so you can see how I did it, just in case you don't watercolor at all. And I don't have like super fancy stuff either, because I don't, like I said, it's not something that I do a lot. Just every once in a while I like to do something like that. So yeah, all these little bits and things, I know it gets crazy saving all this stuff, but it really can add something, because this is all aged and wrinkled and funky, you know? And I think it just looks kind of cool when you add things like this to tags or the bottom of a page, you know, a pocket. It just kind of adds to your collage, I think. You use these old pieces, and I even like to like squeeze them and push down on them, and I've showed that before, but just in case you're new. So you get like wrinkles and, I don't know, just adds some interest to it, I think. Set that aside for a minute, and I think I'll put thank you on there, because like I said, I'm making these for, you know, when people buy stuff from my shop, I like to send some little something with it. And I'm just using my black soot distress ink. I don't have a ton of stamp pads. I have some little ones from Stampin' Up, but I don't have a black one, so. And this works fine for me. And it comes off my stamps really easily, which I like a lot, because I don't like it when they get stained, even though many of mine are. I think that works just fine. So just a little something, and I'll put some neat ribbon or something out of there. So I think those are lots of fun. So let me show you just real quick kind of how I was doing the watercoloring part. I kind of like doing the book page better. So I've got one that I was just using for scrap. I'm going to put that down, and I'll save those pieces. And I just have these kind of watercolors. It's nothing super fancy. You can even use kitty watercolors to do this. I mean, this is nothing, you know, earth-shaking. And then I have the watercolor pens from Stampin' Up that you just put the water inside of. But you can use brushes and, you know, water in a cup or whatever. And I was just kind of, does this one have glue on it? Yes. I need to find one that has no glue on it. I mean, not that it's a huge deal, but, and then I just choose some colors, and I know you can't see my colors right now, but I'm coming back in just a second. I'm just getting my brush wet. I guess I can move it a little bit closer. Move my, I just don't want to get it on anything. And then I have a towel off to the side like this, and you can see the colors on there, because that's how I clean off the brush. And you just have to squeeze these brushes to get the watercolor on them, or the water to come out is what I'm trying to say. And then I just kind of do this sort of thing. And then, you know, it goes dark to light. And then I'm going to change color, so I'm cleaning off my brush. And all you have to do to clean it off is squeeze it to get the water to come out, and then it'll clean off again. And let's see, what do I want to do with that? Here's some pink. And I just squeeze it every now and then, just so it doesn't dry out entirely. And it'll be darker, you know, with less water, obviously. I am going to do this a little bit more because I went a little too light. It was really just water coming out. I think I'll do some blue. I mean, you can choose any colors you want, obviously. And you might not want to do it like too far apart. I was just thinking you're probably only going to get a little bit of the colors because of the way I did that. So let me see. I'm going to add some more colors. And then let's do a darker blue. And then I'll try to do smaller distances apart, more like this, because I'm thinking. And there are lots of people that do watercolor and do a far better job than I do, but I just thought this would be fun to add some color to these. I'm not a watercolor to speak of. I've done a few little things, but it's not something I do generally. I'll do some yellow. And some orange. And I like to mix my colors, and you're not really supposed to do that because you can mess them up, but okay, so I've got just some different colors on there. I'm going to dry that using my heat gun, so I will turn off the camera for a minute and then I will come back once I get it dry, just so you don't have to listen to that. Be right back. Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. So this is nice and dry. Nice and dry now. So I have just my black soot and one of these blocks, and I don't have a really big block, which I probably should have to do this, but I did it yesterday and it works fine. So I'm going to use the flower. I just don't do a ton of stamping anymore. I mean, I use like my Tim Holtz ones and I just use them. I don't worry about these things, but anyway, this one fits nice on here. So these are the flowers, and I thought it would look nice with the pink and the purple. I mean, it would be good with any colors. They're just really neat because they're, you know, the whole line drawing thing, and she drew these herself, and I will link her channel below. I think she might be sold out of these right now, but I'm sure she'll be getting more in stock. I'm going to come down just a little into the blue because, like I said, I kind of made these too wide. These I did closer together, so I think it'll turn out better. And I push all over because I want to make sure I get all the edges. And so you can see. That works, and then we'll do another something. Let me get a wipe. And I'm using the biodegradable, like, flushable wipes, just so, you know. And then I'm gonna do, let's see, what should I do next? I kind of want to do one of the bees, because I haven't done the bee yet. Oops, I put that on the plastic on there. And it does help to keep that plastic on the stamps if you can, because they dry out fairly easily. This, you know, the silicone stamps. It's not just these particular ones, it's all of them. Alright, and I'm going to come down here kind of cattywampus because I want a little orange, a little green, a little yellow. That on there. And you know, this isn't anything earth shaking, I know, but sometimes it's fun just to see how the stamps come out. So let's see, maybe another bird. And I like those pods too. I want to do one of those. The weather here has been so crazy. I woke up yesterday morning and it was raining, and it had cooled off like almost all day yesterday. It was in the 50s all morning, and then it did eventually, the sun came out in the afternoon, so like by 5 it was like 82 or something. But that is so weird for this time of the year for us, because it's usually stinking icky hot. I'm going to do the bird kind of on the blue, green. I'm turn him just a little so I can get, I don't want to get, oh, I'm going to cover up the bee, so maybe I'll go this way instead. And I'm not worried about the wording, what direction. I mean, it's just something to add interest, having the script on there. But I don't really care what direction it goes. Just want to make sure I get all the edges because, like I said, it hangs off a tiny bit, so. There's the birdie. just like having that color back there. These are the poppy pods. I love poppies. I think they're so cool. My dad used to have the big oriental poppies in the yard. And they drove him crazy because they're almost like a weed, but I just loved them. Okay, I think that's all I'll do for now. Wipe that off. That it. And then all I did was I just tore them out, and I'm going to put on my glasses so I don't rip anything. Because that would be typical. So I'm just going to be careful and go around, especially this bee and the bird, because they're close together. I just ripped the bee's wing a little, but it'll be alright. And I did it on that side too. Man, I'm doing great. Don't do it like I do it. Alright, there's that. It just gives it a little something. And then Birdie, let's try not to rip him. There we go. And I'll do a little inking over there since I didn't get full color there. And as far as the tag I did with the watercolor on the watercolor paper all the way across, I did it exactly the same way that I did this book page, just on watercolor paper, so it was super simple. This is kind of a nice way to do it instead of sitting there trying to like color it all in, or just a faster way, but you're still getting some color on your image. I don't know. I thought I ripped it. I was like, eh. So yeah, and it's hot and sunny again today. So it's like from day to day this year, you don't know if you're going to get hot or cold or what. You just wake up in the morning and it's all a surprise. Alright, so those are ready. And then I just have some tags, just, you know, tag backs kind of thing. So maybe bird. This bird's a little wide at the... I just did white paper. I do have some that are watercolor, but I don't want to use the watercolor paper unless I'm, you know, watercoloring on it. So what I'll do is just trim this off, but I think I like it a little bit better on the white than the color. And I'm going to ink this a bit. And I mean, I probably won't do all these with you. I'll just do, you know, this one and then maybe another one, but you don't need to watch all that. You get the idea. Because the back's not going to have anything on it, I'm just going to lightly move around on here so that it isn't quite so stark. And you could use the blush brush thing. That works really well. Okay. And then I think I want to use my washi again. That was fun using the big washi on there. This one's kind of cool. It's got all kinds of stuff on it. I like that cactus right there, so I'm going to come right here to this edge. Yeah. And go all the way up the side. And that's how I did the one that had the rabbit on it. And then I cut it. And this wide washi, especially because I'm going to be putting other stuff, you know, like over it a little bit, I'm not that worried about it sticking. It tends to stick better. The skinny washi, I definitely put extra glue on because it just doesn't hold very well generally. So these are super simple tags. This is not anything hard. Get those edges good because the washi's white. And I did go over the hole a little bit, so I'll probably, you know, punch that again just so that it... And I want something else with that. I think I'm just going to tear this piece off. Should fit now. I'm just going to look at my scraps. And I bag my scraps by color, so, and some aren't perfect, but I try to sort of keep like colors together. I just feel that that works better for me. Maybe this would be good. Everybody's kind of got a different way of doing that scrap thing for sure. That's ripped, but I'm trying to figure out how long I want it. A little bit more off of there. So I'm just going for like a strip of it is all. I think I'm going to use a little bit of my script. And this one's Tim Holtz. I'm going to use the brown, or the, what is this one? Vintage Photo. See, this one I don't have a block big enough for, so I just do this. I'm not trying to get a perfect image anyway, because I just want a suggestion of it, so it's not that big of a deal. As when you're trying to stamp something perfectly on there. Oops, I'm going to come down a little further. Alright, so that's all I needed that for. I'll need this a little. Put that away too soon. Can move the stamps now. I want the yellow over here. I think I like that. I like that look. I don't know what that was from. I cleaned up my area yesterday and now I can't find anything. It's almost better when it's a mess, but it drives me nutty. I can't stand it after a while. Oh, oops, it goes more like this, huh? I don't want this gone. Okay, now I can ink that a bit. I think I want like some cheesecloth or something back there. Behind that. Okay. And I still haven't coffee stained any of this. Get it together. Too many things to do in too little time. I'm telling you. And I've done a couple of like batches of coffee staining or tea staining and stuff, and I just forget this every time. But luckily it works to do that. I just want a little bit, I don't need loads. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this down, but I'm also going to put glue down. I know it's crazy, but I want to make sure that stays. Where's my... Right in the middle, I'm just going to kind of do that. Okay. Oops. And again, just to make sure that it stays on that cheesecloth. Okay, so there's that one, and this one I'll probably write, you know, like thank you or whatever on the back. And then I'm going to add the little dots, or whatever these are, not dots, hole protectors. And I forgot to punch that vellum, or that stuff before I did that, the washi that was sticking through. So let me try to line this up. There we go. Alright, so I did put hole protectors on my other ones. So the owl, the rabbit, and then this was the one that I just did with watercolor, but I did it the same way that I did the book page. So I think I will stop there. I don't think you guys need to watch me do all of them. But yeah, just a fun little way to make, you know, different kinds of tags using stamps that you don't have to like sit and color them all, or make sure you have all the correct color of stamp pads and all that kind of thing. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll talk to you guys again soon, and if you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Bye-bye now.